Mm, well, it must be time. It must be time for decisions 2.0. Now, we call it decisions because everything we do requires us to make one. And even if we don't make one, well, we just made one. So you can't get around it. You can't get over it. You can't go under it. Sometimes you just got to go through it. Good morning to you. It's time to rise and shine. I'm Kevin Elkins, and this is Decisions 2.0. Because our life will be a lot different if our decisions were. That's good and bad. Hopefully good. Well, good morning to you. It is a cloudy day outside this morning that you rise and shine this morning. But other than that, it's a great day to be alive. As you rise, it is 72 degrees outside in the capital city of Alabama. And your forecast for today goes as follows. Probably going to be a lot of rain today, 74 degrees, wind southwest at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. On tonight, some more showers, probably about 50% chance of showers early. And then cloudy overnight, low around 70 degrees. Now, I wouldn't mind 60 degrees. It wouldn't bother me at all. Okay, wouldn't bother me at all if it was 60 degrees. Also, on tomorrow, a 36% chance of rain. So pretty much, things are gonna go like they've been going the last couple of days. Little water, but that's okay. We can handle it. All right, we can handle it. Next up, of course, it is our daily bread. A word from on high. Something that'll change your perspective. I'll give you a new one. Either way, good for the soul. You are still here, time to get busy A lot of things to talk about today. We'll get to it after we break. Don't forget, our show's been brought to you in part by One Stop Wireless. So make sure that if you have any cell phone needs, that you go talk to these folks because they can get it done. And if you got an old cell phone sticking around your house someplace you haven't used it in years, just take it down there to those guys. They can turn that phone on for you. No matter who you owe. Okay? Let's go to work. Let's get out. First thing you do, though, thank God for one more day above ground. Okay, one more day. It certainly did not have to be. No, it certainly did not have to be. You got one more day above ground. One more day to get it right. Or at least to ask forgiveness for what you did wrong. Either way. The only bad day is the one you miss. Other than that, they're all pretty good. Really, I haven't complained about a day yet. I may complain about what happens, but I don't complain about the day. It's a blessing. And what is a blessing? Anybody know what a blessing is? Well, tell me what a blessing is. We always say, bless you, bless you. Does anybody actually really know what a blessing is? Well, you probably do. You guys got age on you. Anyway, we'll be back. Uno momento, or as we say in Germany, ein Schweinville. At least I think that's from my German. I think that's I think that's what it means anyway. I'm not sure. Anyway, good morning to you. It is a great day, an outstanding day to be alive. We'll be back. Through valleys deep and mountains high, your faith a beacon in the sky. Every trial with lessons right.
wrapped tight in every shadow. You are my life. Thank you, Lord.
Hi there, and welcome to today's encouragement from Our Daily Bread. Today's reading, titled Dealing with Disagreement, was written by Kimya Loder. The social media powerhouse, Twitter, created a platform where people all over the world express opinions in short sound bites. In recent years, however, this formula has become more complex as individuals have begun to leverage Twitter as a tool to reprimand others for attitudes and lifestyles they disagree with. Log on to the platform on any given day and you'll find the name of at least one person trending. Click on that name and you'll find millions of people expressing opinions about whatever controversy has emerged. We've learned to publicly criticize everything, from the beliefs people hold to the clothes they wear. The reality, however, is that a critical and unloving attitude doesn't align with who God has called us to be as believers in Jesus. While there will be times when we have to deal with disagreement, the Bible reminds us that as believers, we're to always conduct ourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Instead of being harshly critical, even of our enemies, God urges us to bear with each other and forgive one another if we have a grievance. This treatment isn't limited to the people whose lifestyles and beliefs we agree with. Even when it's difficult, may we extend grace and love to everyone we encounter as Christ guides us, recognizing that we've been redeemed by His love. Today's Our Daily Bread devotional scripture reading is from Colossians chapter 3, verses 12 through 14. Therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Bear with each other and forgive one another if any of you has a grievance against someone. Forgive as the Lord forgave you. And over all these virtues, put on love, which binds them all together in perfect unity. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we all fall short of your glory every day, but we thank you for the reminder that we are forgiven and we are redeemed. When we see something that we feel is dishonoring to you, may we first come to you in prayer, seeking your loving guidance so that we can speak with love and discernment, or know when not to speak at all. Thank you, Lord. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Thank you for listening today. I'm Tony Collier, and this encouragement was provided by Our Daily Bread Ministries.
For a couple of minutes this morning, we are going to we're going to play our McMillan Kids. But if you did not know, they had let me put my face back on in the place someplace here. If you did not know, we lost 8 members of an Air Force B-52 the other day, and it is my solemn responsibility to acknowledge those souls that were left, especially in the military. We don't pay much attention to. Sometimes these are just news items, but they are people. They are souls. They are people who sign up to protect this nation. We don't pick who we fight as military folks. You know, they don't pick who we fight. Well, they pick who we fight. Our job is not to ask why, but just to go and carry out the mission. Unfortunately, sometimes some of those missions require the ultimate sacrifice of some of our folks. And to that end, we pay homage to them this morning. It is because of those individuals that we can play this song. All righty then. All right. You know, this every time I play taps, it just reminds us that like Willie said, that freedom is not free. And sometimes the training is tougher than the battles. But you have to train. You have to you got to be ready, you know, to go where the commander in chief or whoever happens to be in charge that day tells us where to go. Breaks my heart every time I have to play that. I mean, and it's tough when it's not combat related or anything like that. It's just accident. Uh, I know that B-52, that B-52, it's an awesome airplane. I don't, but they're kind of old. But anyway, I just it just breaks my heart every time I see that when I hear about some young person in basic training. Just, but it is what it is. And one thing about it, everybody, and I tell people, everybody that's ever been in the military at some point has or will um, go in harm's way. Even if it's in basic training, going through the. I've seen people get sick, really bad sick, going through the gas chamber. Um, you know, jumping out of airplanes is a dangerous profession, but it is one that some men think they are to do. It is a some many times, not too many times, thank God, people have come out the bird and shoot didn't open, and it is one of we all take that chance. We all know that that's a possibility, but we go anyway. The guy in the tank, he goes, uh, and Lord have mercy. Let's not talk about the Navy SEALs and the 82nd Airborne and all those people who take on not only the regular dangers, but that little extra that goes along with it. And the Marines, the Marines I believe the Marines are the only branch of service that the president don't need to call anybody for. He can send them overnight to any place he wants to. Because they're not something about being an army. You got to do that. You got to do that. You got to go to Congress and all that. But I think that's why they are called the president's own, because the president can actually send them someplace. I don't know all the particulars on that. I wasn't a Marine, although I did want to be one, but they wouldn't let a brother be airborne. So, hey, I had to go down the street, down to the Army office, although I did a pretty good job there too. Anyway, good morning to you. Hope this day finds you well. It is runoff day today. And also, going to talk a little bit about, I was watching the school board meeting yesterday. And that's an interesting body. That school. I must admit, a lot of people think they are more important than they really are on the school boards. Really, they don't have they really don't have any authority to do much of anything. But it makes you feel good. It makes you feel good. But I heard some statements on the school board yesterday that kind of just makes me say, which makes me know I can be a public servant too. My thinking is a little bit clearer and a little bit better than some of theirs. Our school board spends too much time trying to be politically correct rather than doing what needs to be done. Our school board they make rules. Okay, they don't want to put anybody out of school, even though that person may be a disruption in the education process. They really don't want to put anybody out. Okay, and therefore, what that means that a few students, can tear down the whole institution of an educational environment. They can do that, and it has been done. My son told me, he said, "Listen, the school's not bad." So the school's not bad. It's the chaos. It's the chaos in the school that makes it almost impossible to learn. Now, I do believe that our school board, that our school superintendent right now is a pretty good guy. Pretty good guy. And listen, I ain't trying to beat the hell out of all the kids. Don't get me wrong. Although some of them need it. But I learned. I got one listener to this show who's taught me many things, even though I'm older than him. He's taught me many things about leadership. There's a time, the Bible says there's a time, there's a season for all things. Sometimes there's a time to be rough. Sometimes there's a time to be gentle. Sometimes there's a time to be patient, and sometimes not so patient. And I've learned to try to distinguish which time it is. Because initially I was like a what do you call it? A bear in a china factory. I would just, I don't care. I'm gonna knock you out, whatever the case may be. And after a while, you begin to learn, sometimes you can handle things a little bit differently. Now, our public school system, just in case you guys don't know, the school superintendent works at the behest of the school board. And the school board, although they are not necessarily involved in, and I'm going to get to a point here in a second, not necessarily involved in the day-to-day operations of schools. But I heard, but they are responsible. They are responsible for what happens. I don't think my son used to tell me things about Montgomery School that I just couldn't. That boy gave me hell every day about going to Percy Julian. He just gave me, wasn't the school he didn't like. It's the environment by which they let stand, the chaos in the classroom. It just, and I would say it's gotten a little bit better. I know they had a woman over there last year, after Z left. They had a woman, I don't know who it was, but my understanding, and again, I'm going to be nice. I'm just going to be nice. I'm just going to be nice on that one. But you know, at what point do we bring back what we know that worked in school? And one of the things that worked in school is discipline. You If you don't have discipline, then you don't have anything. You don't have um, order, and if you don't have order, then you don't have school. Oh, you call it school, but you don't have a school. Okay, you don't have a place of learning if you don't have order. And so last night, yesterday, listen to the school board. You know, we got some school board members that need to put a pacifier in their mouth and just shut the hell up. Okay, pacifier. Stop worrying about. Yesterday, and I saw Dr. Lisa Keith. They was all getting on her about, well, you shouldn't say things like that. We got students in the room. Well, what? Since when do students not need to hear the truth? And secondarily, these kids listen to more crap on their iPods and iPads and computers and cell phones than they listen to language that, Lord have mercy, even I get embarrassed just thinking that I listen to it. Okay? The truth just doesn't seem to be a quality that we embrace anymore. Logic and reason. You know, I'm just going to put it this way. And this is what I heard at that meeting yesterday. We have a principal that left one school, went to another school as assistant principal, making the same amount of money that she was making at the other school. At the other school. So now, and the principal that was there already is making a good piece of check. You know, making a good check. So now we got two overly qualified people running one school, making the same kind of, because for some reason, it seemed to me that in the education process, if you get tenure, I guess you can't get fired if you work for the school board. I guess you just can't, they can't fire you. We can't say, hey, you're doing a crappy job. It's time to go. I guess you can't. I guess once you get, no wonder so many people go in education and there's no money. It's hard to get fired. You know, you can. I don't. I mean, you can send boys to the girls' bathroom and all kind of things now, and it's just amazing to me. Valiant Cross, which is an outstanding school as far as I know. Now, unless somebody else knows something, then you ain't got to tell me. But as far as I know, the Brock brothers over there do an outstanding job. And one of the things that they demand is discipline. Anthony, when he first got there, it was a big deal over there to not, you had to wear your hair a certain kind of way. You had to wear your hair a certain kind of way. Well, after a couple of years, I saw people coming out with their hair like the rest of those, looking like some of those kids in regular public school. And I asked him about it. I said, "Isn't that part of the requiem to have a nice haircut?" And he sat me down. And you know what? He made sense to me. He said, at some point, and I'm just paraphrasing. He said, at some point, you have to give people freedom to make their own decisions. I said, okay. I mean, and if a haircut means, okay, if that means that if they want to look that way, if we haven't, I'm paraphrasing here now, if we haven't given them the information, if we haven't taught them by now in the 12th grade, and they got a couple of 12th grade classes gone now, if we haven't taught them how to act, how to talk, by now, then the hair won't make a big deal. But initially, it's a big deal because you're coming into an environment, and we cannot do that in regular public school. I mean, the fools that look like fools, and if you look, there is something wrong. I don't know what it is, and please don't get on my case this morning, but because I'm going to show you that it's not just me. There's something wrong with Black culture in America. Not everybody. I didn't say all Black people. I said a lot of our young Black culture, there's something wrong. And part of what's wrong is that they don't have discipline. They don't have it at home. They don't have it in school. So there's only two places where if you don't get it at home and you don't get it at school, there's only two places you're going to be introduced to it. And one of those places, God forbid, I don't want you to go. But the other place, there's a good chance you're going. Okay? And those two places are one, jail, and two, the graveyard. Because if you don't get your act together, you are going to one of those two places. I mean, you have no other, you have no other, you have no other choice. Okay. So I guess that's why secretly or unbeknownst to us as the citizens of Montgomery, I'll put the comments. Oh yeah. As the citizen, thank you. Appreciate that there, Dr. Joe. As the citizens of Alabama, you may not have known this. You know that good prison they was making out there and said they're going to have 4,200 beds. How many beds they're going to actually have? 5,500. And I believe that some of them have people's names on them already. Unfortunately, if we don't turn the tide here, we're going to change the name from prison to the Black Hotel. Something's wrong. And a lot of these people that are going to these prisons, come from public school, a place where there is no discipline hardly whatsoever, because evidently the school board, some members on the school board are more concerned about decorum at a school board meeting than they are decorum in the classroom. Okay? I can't run for everything. Okay? And even if I did run for everything, you still gotta get a majority vote, and which is one of the reasons why I listen. And this is not to be meant as a hit on women, but unfortunately, women are not made of the things that men are. Okay, emotionally, logically, they don't. They want to love you to death. Well, I told the teacher one time when Emmanuel and Z went to school, I said, "Listen, I love you. But I don't care about you. If you don't love my child, I don't care. I'm not sending him here to school to be loved. I'm sending him here. He get plenty of that at home. What he needs here is to be taught and to be introduced to the facts of life. Okay, and so women want to nurture the hell out of you. Which, listen, nothing wrong with being nurtured. I mean, most kids got mamas. I think most mothers are nurturing. That's right. But life is not that way. Life is not that way. Nobody cares if you go down the street hungry. They don't. And if they do, they'll buy you a sandwich. Well, that's good for the time being. But what about tomorrow, this afternoon, the day after that, a month after that, a couple of years after that? You're going to have to be self-sufficient at something in your life. Something. Teacher won't be there. They won't be there to rub your little head and tell you it's going to be all right, because sometimes it's not going to be all right. Sometimes it's not going to be all right. And I really wish we'd get a school board that was a little bit tougher. We need toughness on the school board. We need compassion and we need toughness. And most of the problems in public school are caused by young men. They're getting full of testosterone. Their hormones are raging. They really don't know what the hell to do. But that's okay. That's a natural response to growing up. And somebody has to control that corral with all those young men in it. And I often told people that there are two things that boys need. First of all, they need to learn how to respect people. And how do you get people's respect? You get it with power. Okay, you get their attention by giving them love. But you got to get their attention before you can give them anything else. And boys full of testosterone and all that other vinegar, and piss and vinegar, what they say, they don't really care about a woman who wants to tell them, you're going to do all right. You're going to do it. They don't care about that. Okay. And what I saw yesterday at the school board is one of the reasons why our schools, and it's all over America. It's just not in Montgomery. It's a culture that is going on all over America. Have you ever seen any? Have you ever? Yeah, I watched this movie called The Substitute, and unfortunately, we have schools, especially in New York and places like that, where it's like a zoo. It's really like a zoo. So I just believe we got too many women on the school board. Used to be women were the toughest things around, but we just got too many women. They don't really want to discipline. They want to talk you to death. They want to. Well, he'll get there sooner or later. I mean, we got teachers bringing crackers to school to feed somebody else's kids. We got free lunch. We got free dinner. I mean, we got all this. Even in the summertime, the school feeds people. Well, when are we going to teach them how to feed themselves? I mean, when are we going to do that? So I don't know. Y'all, we need. There's a philosophy in America that's going wrong. I mean, at one point, at one point, it was difficult finding people to even join the service. You know why? Because they couldn't pass the ASVAB test. Coming out of public school, they couldn't pass the test. And if I told you which schools around here really, really sucked, who intellectually are just, it's almost a fraud what goes on. Okay, it's almost a fraud. Here's one I found out. We don't really give high school diplomas to everybody. Now we give a certificate of attendance. What's that mean? He showed up every day. But did he learn anything? Well, he was here. I know, but did he learn anything? He showed up. He was here. He was here on time. But did he learn anything? I mean, the ASVAB test is not very difficult at all. It's pretty much common sense. Pretty much common sense. Now, I know we got a young man that's I don't know if he won or not. Some guy named Ferrier. It's more to hear from him this morning, I think. But ASVAB is not a pass or fail test. Well, you can fail it because if you don't get a certain score, well, I guess if you mean you got to get a certain score on the ASVAB test to even be considered to go in the Army, Air Force, or Marines. You got to get a certain test, and you got to get at least a 50. Well, I think it used to be now. Look at this. If you had a high school diploma, they used to let you get less than that. Yeah, you had to get a 30. But if you didn't have a high school diploma, you had to get a. Okay. So let me get this right. I got to get this right. If you have a high school diploma, you can score less on the ASVAB and get in than if you don't have a high school diploma. I'm all confused here. What's going on, Simpler?
Mayor, discipline is the basis for everything.
That it is.
And if you don't have discipline, then you can't have all the other stuff that you want. I mean, it's you can see it in it's like the lady across the street. She had two sons, two teenagers, and she's out there struggling with a lawnmower trying to cut the grass.
Yeah.
Come over.
It's worse than that, brother. You can go down the street, see a woman changing a tire, and the man sitting in the car.
And you go to Walmart and you see a woman and she's got the credit cards in her hand and she's got the mail trailing behind her. He's not even trying to put the groceries up on the line. He's just standing there useless. But and that's what we've evolved to. And I mean, it's like men can't pass. So many men now, 50% or more, can't pass the PT test. Or law enforcement agencies, or the military, because they've been sitting at home. playing on their YouTube channel. Mama cooking them 3 squares, making sure they're not hot or cold, and putting powder on their butts. And I mean, for them, what did Saban? What was the first thing Saban did when he walked in the door at University of Alabama?
I don't know what he did.
He went to the weight room and he said, "All these TVs, all this piped-in music is gone." He said, "We're getting ready to get tough.
Amen.
We're gonna be tougher than anybody we play. We're gonna make it where they don't want to play us. We're gonna be so tough."
Mm.
And that system worked for a long time.
More championships than anybody else. So
And more players in the NFL.
Yeah.
Because he put the carrot in front of them and said, "Here's the carrot. If you do what I tell you to do, if you follow my discipline, I will get you to the NFL." But now they changed the rule. They want to give them the carrot before.
Yeah.
Before.
And there's something about paying for your first car. There's something about makes you want to keep that because you put the blood, sweat, and tears and the sacrifice to get it rather than that's why a lot of kids who their parents give them a car, guess what? It won't last long. They didn't pay for it.
Oh, exactly. I mean, if you got skin in the game, if you got an investment, if you've had to work and put sweat equity into it, then it's gonna mean something to you, and you're gonna take care of it. But I mean, you see it in society, and it's reflective that there's a lack of discipline, and it manifests itself in school. It manifests itself. Employers will tell you this, Mayor, all day long, that this generation, they're hard to work. They don't want to come to work. The Dollar General around the corner from me, it can't stay open because they can't get people to work.
Well, that's because we give them everything else. So, if you don't,
but we've reached a point in our society that, if you'd have told people 30, 40 years ago, there's jobs and nobody wants to work them. Nobody wants to work for a wage. They'd look at you like you were crazy.
Here's one. Here's one. I looked on Facebook last night, and somebody's complaining that people don't want to give them a 20% tip. And if we can't afford the tip, according to this little mutt mouth, then we should stay home. No, if I want to come out here, come out. You should get another job if you don't understand. If you give great service to a customer, they will give you a tip, but you ain't going to tell me how much to give. That all depends on how's your service.
Exactly, and you reward for good service. You don't give them the carrot, all of the carrot, ahead of time. And you base it on performance, and that's what we've got away from. But what do you think about changing gears? What do you think about what went on in Bessemer?
Listen, I did not believe you talking about with Trump. I'm not Trump with the what's his name?
No, with the stabbing they had on the bus. Did you see that?
Oh yeah, I did see that. And again, it's going around.
I guarantee you, nobody got on that bus yesterday in Tennessee, headed back to Louisiana, thinking that somebody was going to die and 2 or 3 were going to get stabbed and put in the hospital. Nobody thought that. And these were security guards.
Yeah.
And that's why I say you never can tell what somebody's thinking. You never know what the trigger is going to be. The trigger pull is going to be to cause that impulse for this to happen. And that's why when people say, well, no, I know them, I guarantee they'll feel it. No, they're security guards. They wouldn't do something like that.
Yeah, and I don't know. I saw one. Is that the one where I saw the guy just beat the hell out of a woman? And then he swears up and down, he got schizophrenia. Okay, well, let's put one half of him in jail and the other half in the grave. Okay, we'll get the right one way or the other. Was Carmelo on the bus? No. But there's so many things. There's a cultural divide in this country. They're just unfortunately, a lot of our young black males have reached are following the wrong culture. We just, God, I don't know what happened. My mother right now, she was alive, she still want to smack me for if I did some of the things that these kids are doing now. I don't get it. And in school, if we miss them in school, they're lost cause. If we don't teach them the consequences of their actions in school, if they miss it at home because mama is too busy getting high or daddy's not around, then if we miss it in school, my friend, that's why they put another 10,000 beds, 1,000 beds at the new prison that was only supposed to house 42. Now, my understanding is going to house 5,500 people.
Yeah, it'll be maxed out by the time it opens, and they can't find staff to work it. But I feared my mother a lot more than I feared the school, the football coaches, the police. I feared her more than I did any of them.
Yeah. The question was, do you want to paddle in here? Do you want to call your parents? Put it on me.
No. And that's what I'm saying. It starts with discipline. Everything starts with discipline. And if a society doesn't have it, and if you lose that, then, man, we're in bad shape.
Yep, we are. And we
have a good day, Mayor.
Appreciate it. And we are, for the most part, headed that way. We're just doing terrible things. But anyway, and this was at the school board meeting yesterday, and I was listening to it on YouTube, whichever one of them things is on YouTube, or they got a YouTube, or anyway, I got the video some kind of way, and I no wonder our school system is not. We need more men on the school board. Hey, women, we love you. We love you. I mean, we couldn't do it without you. But we need men to deal with young men in public school. Okay, we need men. As a matter of fact, evidently, if they paid a little bit more, they could probably get some more male teachers. But a man is not going to put up with that disrespect that some of these kids want to give you, and women will send him to the principal's office. And by the time they get to the principal's office, the principal's coming out the door, tell them go back to class. You know, and those are the people who are supposed to be the next generation of leaders. Hell, they can't be led. You can't lead if you cannot follow. You know, so I don't know. Yeah, the minimum score is 31, but I think in order to get that, you got to have a high school diploma. But if you don't have the high school diploma, Dr. Joe, you have to get 50. Okay, so you can be dumb as a brick with a high school diploma and get in. But if you don't have the high school diploma, then you got to be a lot smarter. I think there's something backwards there. I think there's something, and maybe that's where it all began. Okay. Greg said blacks don't tip. You're lucky if they pay the bill. Okay, that's not necessarily true. I tip all the time. I mean, I'm not a big spender. You know, I'm not going. If I order a plate that costs $20, I'm not finna tip you $20 on top of that. I could have brought somebody to dinner with me. Also, what's that about the oil prices dropped below $80 since March, April, May, June. Yeah, okay. Well, that ain't, that's not too bad. Now I'm still trying to figure out the plan. I'm still trying to figure out the agreement, because it's my understanding he's doing the same thing that he got on Barack Obama by giving them all this money back so they can buy more junk to shoot at people. I don't know. I really can't figure this out yet. I'll figure it out later. Okay. Oh, you get your facts regarding that. Well, somebody just told me that. That's what somebody, Dr. Joe, who was a teacher. I think the minimum score, I think it's 31. I think you could get. Is that not what it is? What's the minimum score you can get in to join the military? I mean, for a minute there, I guess they needed people to join. And so they pretty much, if you was breathing, for the most part, I guess you got in and get with a 31. I don't know. Men are the reason we are living in hell right now, starting at the White House. Okay, you can't put that on the White House. We were living pretty rough before he got there. We've had 46 presidents prior to him. Okay, he's number 47. So we've had 46. So he's not the reason why, Okay. So you need a 50 for a non. Well, that's exactly. But if you are a graduate of high school, you can have a lower score, which doesn't make sense to me. Because if you have a high school diploma, then you ought to be smarter than the guy that don't. Needing a 50 for non-high school grad. I don't know. I have to find it. Let me call my recruiter friend and see what the scores you got to have. But I do know that you could get in with a lower score if you had a high school diploma, and you needed a higher score if you didn't have a high school diploma. At least that's where it used to be. I don't know what it is now. It's been a minute since I was there. So, all right, moving on to other things. I just thought that I was looking at, and the whole, but here's my thing. Can somebody please explain to me what a certificate of attendance is? Can I put that on a job application? Can I put that on a job application? Did you go to high school? Oh, I got a certificate of attendance. Oh, so you went, but you didn't do anything? I'm just trying to figure out what does that mean? So I get to walk across the stage. Looks like I'm getting a high school diploma, but I'm getting a certificate of attendance. What the hell is that? I mean, what is that? Certificate of attendance. Okay, that's like, oh, well, yeah, he was in jail, but he said he stood outside the bars. Okay. Well, and this is what I got a couple of weeks ago from that interview I did with Pam Cloud and them, who are 2 weeks ago. You knew folks running for mayor. Who are they? Can't put that out right now. I'm only worried about District 3 representation right now. Am I gonna have to run? See, that's what I'm worried about. Right? We should find out something today. I should find out something today. And I'm only going. If they let us stay, then so what? But here's my problem with the city council. The city council will bring you in front of them. Often they do. For an encroachment. Oh, okay. So a certificate means you get to walk across the stage. It don't mean much, but that's an educational platitude. Okay? That's an educational platitude. It doesn't mean anything. You walked across the stage with a piece of paper that's almost worth less than toilet paper. At least with toilet paper, you can do something with it. You can't do jack with a certificate of attendance. So you might as well put that in the bathroom, and the next time you run out of paper, use it. Okay? Because it's going to do you absolutely no good. As a matter of fact, what they ought to do is give you a certificate, go to McDonald's and have lunch during the graduation. Because since you won't be graduating, you might as well get a free lunch. Okay? Because that's the last free lunch you'll get. Okay? After that, there are no more free lunches. So I'm just saying. So certificate of, of attendance. Okay. Again, toilet paper is worth more than that. Okay, it really is. And if you and in a tight, the newspaper will work. So the newspaper is worth more for toilet paper than that certificate of attendance is. Okay, I mean, do we really believe? Do we really believe we doing a child any good by giving them a certificate of attendance? Honestly, do we really believe? And then you wonder why who's breaking in homes, who can't get a job, and all these things. And whew. But anyway, I got a thing yesterday. I got this. Let me see if I can find what I got yesterday. Let's see, because people send me all kind of great videos, and they're teaching. And buddy, what I'm looking, I tell you, I love that Kennedy guy from Louisiana. That son of a gun will get you in the Senate or whatever Senate and ask you some questions and lead you by the nose to your own slaughterhouse. Okay, I mean, we got some idiotic people in government. If they're not in charge of something, they work for the government. We have some absolute idiots. The other day, I had a woman in front of the Senate, and Jack, he asked her something about can men get pregnant? Well, sir, I'm here to answer the questions about reproductive services. Can men get pregnant? Well, sir, that's not why I'm here to answer that question. He asked her again, can men have babies? Well, you're prejudiced. You are you're homophobic and blah 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 blah. And you wonder why our kids are crazy as hell. Okay? She couldn't even answer the question, can men get pregnant? Okay. When Z was little, he knew that men couldn't get pregnant. Okay. Most everybody in the human race knows that. They know that, but they couldn't, they couldn't. They just, I mean, we got some idiots in charge of things. We just got some, we just, no wonder our kids, a woman must have two. No, it ain't Hate Woman Day. I love women. Without women, where would we be? We wouldn't be here. I got no problem with women, but I also know that a woman is born with a vagina and she's born with eggs and ovary and all that stuff. Men are not. Okay, men are not. Even the skeleton is different on a woman than it is a man because they do carry children. So I don't know why it's so difficult for people to say, no, men cannot have children. Never have, never will. It will never be unless good Lord decides to change our anatomy. Okay. So I don't know why. Truth is something that it's impolite to use these days. You cannot use truth. Now you can make excuses for dumb things, but you cannot, for some reason. I don't know why, but you cannot. The truth cannot be used anymore. Okay, I don't know why. I'm stupefied why we cannot tell the truth. I'm just flabbergasted. Okay, flabbergasted. Anyway, moving on to other things before I get to see. And today is the election runoff day. I don't know if we had any runoffs in Montgomery whatsoever. Well, you got Lieutenant Governor runoff between John Wall and Wes Allen. Last time they voted for it, John Wall got 41%. Wes Allen got 38%. I don't really care who's the lieutenant governor. I could care less. Anyway, it's on the Republican side. Basically, they are tied. U.S. Senate, Barry Moore got 39% to Jared Hudson had 26% before. I could care less who wins that too. I could care less. Let's see who this is. Yes, Don.
Let me help you guys out. Reverend Willie, it wasn't that long ago, claimed that Trump lowered the scores. That's how he met his enlistment figures, right? Remember when Willie claimed that?
I guess I don't know.
There's two different things here. The ASVAB is an overall score that tells you how you would do in different jobs and stuff like that. There's a subset of that they call the ASQT qualification test.
All right.
you have to have a minimum of 31 to join the Army.
Is
But
that to decide the
subset.
job? Is that the one to decide what job you could?
No, the AFSAB is the one that looks at your job and where
Oh.
your aptitude for how you might do. Whether or not you're going to be in electronics or you're going to be run behind a tank. That's what that is. But a subset of that is the qualification test, and remember that 31. Reverend Willie claimed that Trump lowered that score. The score has never changed. Under Biden, Reverend Willie, they said you could join, but you have to go to school. They had a class that got you up to 31 before you actually came into the Army. But remember, Willie wanted to demean the president. He always likes to demean the president, claiming that Trump had dropped all that, and all that crap began under Biden. And the most reason it happened is because kids were supposed to be learning from computer, and they wasn't doing a damn thing.
Yeah, that's true.
But that's two different tests. The one that says what you got to have to actually get in the Army is the qualification test, and that's a minimum of 31. The other one is a test that tells you where you might be. Like you probably scored in a grade for being a cook.
No, I actually got 100. Actually, I had 135 GT score.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
100 and what?
See, you don't know. I went off the scale.
Well, what? You also had a 50 on your ACT, right?
All I know is the answer. I had a 50 on something.
You told me you had a 50 on your ACT.
Yeah,
Did you tell me that or not?
Yeah.
I guess this is one of the things we'll never know what you actually got. It's like you jumping out of a plane.
Oh.
And I wish you wouldn't demean the people that 8 people killed on that
What you mean I demean?
B-52 by putting yourself into it.
I didn't put myself into that. What?
Yes, you did.
What did I
You
say?
started. We jump out of
I
planes.
said
and all
every
that
job.
stuff. You ain't never jumped out of a plane. in
Well,
your
okay,
life.
okay. Never mind. Now you're going on. Now you're eating stupid soup.
No, because it's the
Okay.
truth.
I
I
said-
just
I
hate
said-
it. We got 8 people died.
I said
And
every
you bring
job.
up a lie.
I said every job in the
Stolen
military
valor.
puts yourself in harm's way. Just about every job.
No, you ain't never put your.
Okay, Don. Okay, we good. We good. I don't. I mean, I can only take so much irrationality. I just can't. I mean, I'm going to get all the buddies and tell them, I show up one day on the show and call you a liar. And maybe it's going to take them to call you a liar. I mean, I am a United States Army paratrooper. So whether or not you believe it or not, it actually kind of reminds me of taking a stupor. I mean, it doesn't make any difference what you believe. Okay. Anyway, yesterday I meant to show you this earlier. Yesterday, while they were at the school board meeting, there was a pretty contentious, there was a pretty contentious meeting yesterday at the board. So, and I'm going to play that for you a couple of minutes here between, I think, Dr. Lisa Keith and somebody down there, but I'll get to that in a second. Morning, Tom.
Morning, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, Kevin, the last 10 years of my military service,
Mhm.
I was the senior enlisted for the Marine Recruiting Command for this region.
Right.
So when I call in to talk recruiting, it's not because I've Googled it.
I understand.
Okay. There's not 2 separate tests. There's one test. It's the ASVAB, Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery.
Right.
One test. The AFQT is the Armed Forces Qualification Score, which is the 31 or 50 or whatever. That determines the entry. Then there's a battery of tests taken the same time,
Right.
which is your GT, your General Technical School,
Right. Right.
clerical, mechanical. So it's not 2 separate tests done. It's one test, which is called the ASVAB, Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery. The qualifying score is entry. The line scores are determine what your MOS could be, your general technical scores, okay?
Yes.
So it's not 2 separate tests, one test.
And they extract,
AFQT.
right? And what they do is they extract out of that information where they think you would fit.
Well, based off what you do, I scored highest in the clerical area.
Mhm.
So I went into administration. There's some people that score higher in the mechanical area. They may be aircraft mechanic, they may be diesel mechanics. There's some people that score higher in the electronics area,
Mhm.
which Z scored higher in,
Yeah.
because those people have more math and they have the ability to do the higher technical jobs. But it's not two separate tests. The ASVAB, Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery.
Oh.
You score 50, you can get a bonus. You can get the higher jobs.
Mhm.
Because normally if you score a higher QT qualification,
Yeah.
your line scores are higher.
Mm.
Okay?
Mhm.
So you may have scored 78 or 80 on the qualification test scores, and your line scores may have been high, but your job you wanted to go into was not available. So you have people that score high scores that go into cook.
Well,
They go
yeah,
in the infantry.
yeah, yeah. As a matter of fact,
Doesn't mean that they were a dummy and they scored
Exactly.
it lower, but that's where their
Yeah.
where their interests lie.
well, I wanted to go to the Rangers, and they said the only way for me to get there, the only thing they needed, the TOE, was the only slot they had open was 94 Bravo at that particular time, and I wanted to go. I figured I could get out of it when I got there.
Right. But there are a lot of people, Kevin, when I recruited,
Yeah.
that scored extremely high, but they wanted to be the guys
Yeah.
that were kicking in doors and
Kicking in
doing some high speed stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Ooh,
Because they were 18 years young. They say, for 4 years, I want to get out here and live.
yeah.
I know I can go on later to be something,
Mhm.
technical and do something else.
Mhm.
But while I'm young, I want to have fun.
Yeah,
And that's what they looked at.
yeah, yeah.
So it's one test, Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery, ASVAB.
Mhm.
And out of that, there's a slew of tests that you take at the same time that determines your technical ability, okay?
Right. Well, thank you there
Now,
for
I got a question.
Yes.
Did you hear that the Pentagon has removed General Chappie James' photo?
And I did research on that, and here's what they're doing now.
What they're doing?
According to what I read, they are rotating our nation's heroes' portraits around different bases in different places in Washington, D.C., so everybody can see them rather than they just be in one place. And so now the president is moving them around. And that's what my understanding. They didn't remove it, they moved it to a different location. At least that's what I read, and that's the research that I got on it.
Wow. Boy, that's a great answer. We're not taking it down. We are moving it.
Well, and I would think
In order to move it, don't you have to take it down?
well, you got to take it down to move it, but I would
And
think,
where did they move it to?
well, that I don't know, but I will tell you this much. I know
Well, I mean, you say they took it down and rotated to move it somewhere else.
yeah,
The story should have said that if they taken it down from the Pentagon, they moved it to the Air Force Academy, then they moved it to Camp Lejeune, then they moved it to Fort Hood.
you can look at
Where did they move it to?
yeah, you can, I didn't go that in depth because I was just concerned about them actually taking it down, and it made sense to me because there are people who don't know who General Chappie James is, and they'll never come to Washington.
So where did they move it to for them to know who he is?
Now that I'm going to have to find out.
Yeah, I'd be curious.
Me too.
Because they moved it to a spot
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
that people is going to know who he is. Okay, please report the rest of that story.
we'll do. We'll do.
And can you tell me what other white 4-star general they took down?
No, I don't. Well, let me check because I'm sure it wasn't more. It was more than Chappie James, at least from what I read. More than Chappie James. They got. Who?
Can you find out who they were?
I'm gonna find out who it is.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I may be a reasonable guy, but that bothered me when I saw that. So I did some checking on it to make sure that we ain't just taking all the black folks down, especially the first 4-star general. So the part I read was they're moving them around to different places. So I'll check that out. I'll make sure I'll check it. Because that was a reasonable answer. Because I mean, you got to give me something. Why you gonna take him down? So I don't think it's just him, but I'll find out later on. I'll find out today. I call Washington D.C. Now here's our one of my favorite. Let me stop this right quick. One of my favorite people on the school board right here, who evidently yesterday got into a little bit of a, shall we say, dust up with Yeah. With her name, with one, I think was that Pam Clyde. I don't know who that was, but we're going to let you see this right now, and you understand where my initial statement came from this morning about the school board. Okay, so let us see here how this is going. Now, this right here is Dr. Lisa Keith, who represents me. I'm proud to have her as a representative. She don't take no stuff. She gives it out. She don't, if it smells like doo-doo, looks like doo-doo, feels like doo-doo, she gonna call it doo-doo. I like that. See, don't spray perfume on a doo-doo and tell me that it's something else. Okay, we ain't even gonna go there. Okay? We're not even gonna go there. Okay? We're not gonna do that. So let me see if I can get this to work right quick. Let's see if I can get it to work.
Welcome to the highlight show in the WNBA. Back
Yeah, I
in
know.
that bucket.
Amanda, thanks so much. We'll stay ready. Well, a meeting among Montgomery board members turns tense quick as members were about to take a vote. Let's listen in.
This is black, white. I don't give a crap how you look at it, how you can vote for somebody to do 232 principles and not go back and discuss it. This is personal.
That was school board member Dr. Lisa Keith this afternoon. The board called a special meeting over personnel matters. When they went to vote to go to the executive session, Keith appeared upset over a school she claims had 75 students or fewer with two principals, making combined more than $200,000 a year. With discussions made in executive session, we won't know the specific details.
I think we may be too invested in some things and not invested enough in others.
Well, straighten it
We
out.
have new magnet schools coming. We have new cyber intelligence coming. We have so many people behind us. The greater Montgomery is behind us. We know as a board that in order for us to get their support and their respect, we must stay on topic, stay well behaved, and take care of this district.
Dr. Keith did apologize for the language and outbursts to the kids in attendance.
Hey, listen.
Okay, hold on. Let me get this right.
Alabama doesn't need another
Hold it. Let me get this right. She didn't say anything except that's a bunch of crap. Are we serious? Do we call that bad? Let me read it. What? Let me run that by one more time. She said, this is a bunch of crap. Let me see. I don't think she should use the S word or the B word or anything like that. Really? Seriously? Let me see.
Everett West. He's a former Republican running as a Democrat.
I am pro-life.
As the leader of the Madison...
Amanda, thanks so much. We'll stay ready. Well, a meeting among Montgomery board members turns tense quick as members were about to take a vote. Let's listen in.
This is black, white. I don't give a crap how you look at it, how you can vote.
Okay, so she said, I don't give a crap. Is that bad language? Seriously? Come on, man. These kids listen worse than that on cartoons.
For somebody to do 232 principles and not go back and discuss it. This is personal.
That was school board member Dr. Lisa Keith this afternoon. The board called a special meeting over personnel matters.
Thanks so much. We'll stay ready. Well, a meeting among Montgomery board members turns tense quick as members were about to take a vote. Let's listen in.
This is black, white. I don't give a crap how you look at it, how you can vote for somebody to do 232 principles and not go back and discuss it. This is personal.
That was school board member Dr.
Okay, I'll just say. Oh, so somebody told me this. Well, I got the other video too, so I'll go to that one in a couple of minutes here. But basically, what's going on that for when I get there's two principals at a school. One principal was a principal at another school, and evidently she was transferred to another school. Now they got two principals, and they're making 200 and some thousand combined. They're making $200,000 a year for a school that only has sometimes 75 people, and other times 25. So that was her problem with what was going on, which makes sense to me. It makes sense to me. Now here's another one. Okay, here's another one. Let me see if I can get this. If I can get this one to be seen. Again, it makes sense to me. You know, that she didn't want to. Oh, wait a minute, who is that? Wait, just hold it. Wait a minute. I think the my let me see here now. The browser. Okay, Dr. Keith.
Hey, Kevin.
How you doing? We were just extolling the virtues of the meeting yesterday.
Well, I needed to correct you.
Okay. Then.
Okay. So if somebody tells you that I said just crap, I didn't. Here's let me explain myself. I did apologize. I mean the apology. There's no excuse for the way I acted. What I said, I meant every word of what I said. What I didn't know, you have to understand, special call meetings are called for emergency purposes only, basically. It's like when you don't, like what they didn't do last week. We had 2 board members from last week that wanted to keep a principal that, quite honestly, there were just enough issues that it needed to be discussed. And where they said there wasn't training, there was plenty of training. And because what I said to them the last board meeting was, guys, we've always, used this as a line item, take off whatever person that you're having a problem with, and at least let the other 176 go. Oh no, I stopped them during old business, and you can't even really put it in as old business, but I came back and I said, look, I don't care what I look like. If we leave this table tonight, this was a week ago, if we leave this table tonight, leaving 176 employees, not knowing if they have jobs or not. Do you know how many that will be going out and looking for jobs? We have a darn teacher retention problem, and we have also a board problem. And we can sit here and say that we don't have a board problem. We have a board problem. We have members of our board that want our superintendent gone, and they will do whatever they can. Yeah, they want Dr. Bird gone, and whatever they can do. And they look at the.
I lost it. Dr. Bird is doing it for her. I can see an outstanding job. What they want? They want Melvin back? I don't know. Maybe we got to get her back on in a minute here. Maybe they just want Melvin back. I'm not exactly sure. So, okay then. Well, I don't know. Well, she'll call back maybe. Well, anyway, so evidently there is some tension at the school board, which it ought to be. Wait a minute, Don, so I can get you on, because I know I'm pretty sure you're about to amaze me with your intellectual prowess. So hold on a second. Okay, now. All right, go ahead, Don.
Make sure Willie Durham can hear me.
Well, you talking?
I don't know. I want to make sure Willie's listen. Willie comes up with every damn bit of racist trash he can find. He's the one that first came up and said that Trump dropped the scores on the tests for entry in the military. I never said there were 2 tests, Willie. I said one was a subset of the other, and you had to have a 31 on that. That's the one you claimed they dropped the 27 on for Trump. But let's get the Chappie James thing straight. The Atlantic is a trash rag that constantly misreports stuff on Donald Trump because they hate him as bad as Willie Durham does. Chappie James' picture was at the Pentagon in a portrait thing for the Air Force. The most prestigious thing in the Air Force is the Air Force Museum in Dayton, Ohio. That's where they have planes and everything else. Chappie James' picture was taken down and restored and being moved to the Air Force Museum in Dayton, Ohio. But Willie can make race every damn thing in the world. He's such a damn bigot about making him want to.
All right. Hey, let me get Dr. Keith back. Okay, so that's where, because again, what I read was they moved it to some place, but they didn't just take it down because he was General Chappie James, but I'll get some. Hey, Doc.
Hey, I'm sorry. I don't know what happened there.
You got to get an iPhone.
Okay. I do have an iPhone. Okay. But anyway, what happened yesterday is we came back to vote. And what I was trying to say, the kids, if that didn't happen, I'm sorry, it did happen. They said the kids came there to learn how to be board members. Well, hello, obviously I failed that one, but let's look at it this way. They would have come here and they would have seen was a vote to have the agenda, to approve the agenda, and a vote to approve the names on the certified list, 177 people. That's all they would have seen. So why they were even invited to that, I don't know. And because I'm not used to students being out in a special called meeting that we had talked about going into executive session in, I just lost it because what happened, and it did look like a black-white racial issue. I don't care how you stroke it, look at it, it's exactly what it was. What they've done is they've taken one of our employees that they had put up for termination, and now because of our board, our board being in disarray, we under Robert's rules, the lady could have been terminated under state law because all the board members weren't there, and one of the board members recused herself. No, we had to come back to the table with all 7 of us, and when you do that, it's almost like the bad guy that goes to court that's been acquitted, and they come back in on a whole different level. Because I found out yesterday, and I should have known, but I didn't. But in executive session, I did find out that, because I asked the question, why would you? This person was on probation, on a probationary contract, and I said, why was she on a 2-year probationary contract? I'm not going to mention her name or school or anything like that, but it was why was she on a probationary contract for 2 years? Why not put them on for 1 year? Well, state law, precedes, and what happens there is they do get a 2-year. But state law says they have to have 2 years. So now that the board screwed up last time, because they couldn't, come to even though I begged them, guess what? We've got to come back to the table, and now we're transferring that person to a school. I'm not going to say what school, but it's one of our what do you call it? Alternative schools. And guess what? On a average day, that school only houses 35 students. It ended the year with 52 students. And on a bad day, which is rare, they have 75 students. So they're going to put 2 principals over there. This one was going to make in excess of $116,000. Then you put another one at the same price. You're looking at about $235,000 for one principal at a school that houses at most 75 students. Yeah, I'm still pissed at it. It pisses me off. It should piss the taxpayers off.
Why do we have a school with that small amount of people?
Because it's an alternative. Like when
badass.
Yes, like how your big discipline deal is.
Yeah.
We stick them over there. We put them in access learning. There's not even really any great teachers over there because you're putting them under access learning. It's where they go to a computer and you have a freaking babysitter. So tell me what those two. And guess what? I did ask this. What if you get 2 alpha females? What if you get 2 alpha females over there as a principal going, hey, I'm the head honcho? Okay? You set them both up for failure.
Wow. Let me ask something, Dr. Keith. Why is it necessary to make all of these special programs for kids because they're a discipline problem? Why not just put them out?
You know what? I've told you I agree with you that, but remember, we've got 26,000 students, and they come from the low end of the spectrum to the high end of the spectrum. And a lot of the problem that we have, believe it or not, is chronic absenteeism. When you allow students to come in whenever they want, and the state mandates that a teacher reteaches and reteaches and reteaches, you stop your class to reteach because that one kid walked in. Well, thank God we are making new policy. One of the new policies under the Code of Conduct is once a child misses 51 minutes of a classroom, it goes down as an absence. Well, this week we hopefully we have a retreat this Thursday. But you know what? With the way things are going, I'm sorry, we're going to do the black-white thing here. I could see a 5-2 thing because the one thing, I want you to understand, Montgomery MPS has a 25% to 30%. Even Dr. Bird said he thinks it's at least 30% chronic absentee problem. Well, guess what? That compares to other places here in Alabama, 12%. And you know why? Because 12 years ago, when I was a 6-1 then, they changed the attendance policy to say, it used to say a child will not miss over 10 days unexcused absences. Well, guess what? They changed that word will to may. That may word, what do you think? Remember when you were young playing Mother May I? Okay. Mother May I take 2 steps? Well, may I be absent? You can't hold a kid when you use words like may. You've basically given them a license to take off anything they want to do.
Let me ask you a question. How long is a regular class under standard conditions? How long is a class?
It depends on if they're on block schedule or not. We have different schools on different things. Some of them are 90 minutes. Some of them there are an hour. And see what you have is you've got 500 non-certified teachers, emergency certified teachers that never once, I want you to think about this, never once did what's it called? Remember I have trigeminal neuralgia, so my brain doesn't necessarily tick the way it does on the second I need it to. But they do internship. That's the word I was trying to think. They do an internship. And these emergency, we've got 500 of them out there that never had an internship. And you throw them in, and the state says, "Oh, you're going to teach this way, MTSS." Well, who the frick knows what MTSS does? And then you get one person to train 500 teachers, and they're not just teaching 500 teachers. Our normal teachers that graduated from college have to do that, and that's the problem with some of our teachers today. Here we bring in 500 teachers, which, by the way, do have a college education, a 4-year education. We stick them in here. We pay them like what, $47,500, and then we say, guess what? You've got 3 years to go back to school and spend another $25,000 to be even a teacher. Because at the end of 3 years, guess what? If you don't have it, we're going to pay you substitute pay. That's why we can only keep teachers 3 years. So it's totally. I'm going to blame. I hate to say it. I've gone to Eric Mackey on this whole thing, not on what I'm saying, but when we couldn't approve 100, when we had 177 people, that this board could not come together and at least do 176 and pull the one off that they didn't understand. I did call Mackey, and I think I hope I have his support, because we are going to lose. I wonder how many teachers we lost in 1 week that said, "Screw this system." And of course, there's people saying the way I acted last night, in front of the public. There's people going, "I'll never come."
I thought it was great. Yes.
Well, I've had a lot of calls say, "Lisa, they're supporting me in it," because what I'm saying is true. The way I said it, with the one word in there, and it wasn't bull crap. It was, it was the 4-letter S word. But
they listen to that. They listen to all that crap all day long anyway. So I don't care nothing about that. Sometimes your only way to get people's attention, you got to give them a language that they understand.
Well, I know I've never done it before. I'm ashamed of myself for doing that, and I did apologize for that. Okay. So
let me ask you a question, and this is a theoretical question.
Right.
If I leave high school in Alabama, anywhere, theoretically, should not be able to teach high school?
If you leave high school and then go teach high school?
If the diploma is worth anything, should not be able to teach a class in high school?
No, come on, Kev. Kevin.
Are we going to disseminate information?
No, you got to have. No, there's got to be some kind of training. You're not ready. You've got to have some college education. And what we do, our policy is you've got to have a 4-year degree.
Okay, so and listen, that's to keep people employed and deny other people's employment. You telling me that your high school diploma that you give me in the state of Alabama is not good enough for me to come right back and teach that same class in the same high school?
It isn't.
And the high school diploma ain't worth anything.
Hold on a minute. I'm getting a note here from our superintendent, so I have a problem. I probably am hearing that I'm in trouble.
That's okay.
But anyway, I haven't mentioned names. I haven't mentioned.
You haven't? No, she haven't. She hasn't mentioned anything.
And I haven't even talked to you. I just happened to get on your show, and because somebody said, "Hey, Kevin's talking about you," and I opened it up and heard you say that I said bull crap, and I wanted to correct you because I said worse. Okay. Well, now we've talked, so I'm going to get off. I'm going to read this because I have a feeling I'm already in another and I'm in trouble again.
Okay, well, that's okay. I'll help you. If you need any bail money, let me know.
Okay. Thank you. Have a good one. All right. Bye-bye.
Yeah, you need the bell money. We'll come get you. We'll come get you. Don't you know? Don't you? Let me see if I can get rid of Dr. Keith out of here. Okay. So I'm lost again. If you get a high school diploma in Alabama, are you telling me you are not qualified by knowledge? Now, I understand temperament. I understand everybody can't be a teacher because you just don't have the personality to do it. I got that part. But if my high school diploma, after 12 years of school, does not prepare me to disseminate the information that I just learned out of 12 years, then what good is my diploma? Because we are asking you, we are telling the society that, well, he finished high school, so now he's prepared for college. I'm not, there's nothing, I don't think there's anything. The only thing I would have a problem with in high school teaching it's math, because I'm just not a mathematician. I mean, listen, calculus and algebra and all that stuff. No, but any other subject I can teach. I know a little bit about wood. I know a little bit about history, although history is everything every man, woman, and child has ever seen, felt, and done. So you never teach history. You teach some of history. No one person, not even 4,500 people, not even 1 million people can teach all of history. Okay? I'm prepared to help the drill sergeant. I am. Yeah. If I finish basic training, I know where the gas thing is. I know how to run. I know you don't quit. You keep. Yeah, I can help. And I'm not saying that you can take a guy who finished high school and pay him college pay. But there's no reason in the world that if my high school diploma is worth anything, there's no reason in the world where I cannot help, like be a substitute teacher. As long as I have the temperament and the ability to articulate and enunciate my lesson. There's just no reason why we shouldn't be able to do it. Or else the high school diploma, I know about economics. I know you should spend less than you make. That's good. That's it. That's all I need to know. You need to spend less than you make. And your economics will always be on time. Okay. Where we get in trouble is spending more than we make. Okay. Come on, Dr. Joe. Tell me I'm wrong. It's about income and outcome, debit and credit. That's all economics are about. Debit and credit. Tell me it's not. That's all it is. Okay. When I go to the store and it costs $99, it costs $1. I know that it's 10%. So I know my bill is going to be $1.10. Okay. Yeah, I know all about economics that I need to know. Okay, debit and credit. Spend less money than you make. That just puts it down to where the goats can get on it. Okay, spend less money than you make. That's economic. Our problem in America is that we always spending more money than we can make. Like yesterday. Okay, I got a call from a business that wanted to give me. I don't know. Okay, you got me on that one. you got me on the 401k thing, right? Okay, you got me on that one. Okay, I'll give you credit. Okay. But had I known what it was, I'd have been all right. But I didn't know they put money with it. Okay, you got me on that one. Okay. It's not necessarily about supply and demand. Let me make my case. If I'm the person with the supply, and I'm also the person that can affect the demand. If I have 12 crates, if I have 12 boxes of eggs, and right now I'm selling those eggs at $5 a box. But I decide, you know what? I want $10 a box. So I'm not going to sell the other 5. And I'm going to tell people that I have a limited supply so I can raise the price. And what I can't figure out is why do we raise prices on things that we have plenty of? Because it's about greed. And that's part of the economic plan also. Okay, so he with the supply can determine the demand. Okay, I'm brilliant. You know, I am brilliant. As a matter of fact, I amaze myself sometimes. Okay, so it is not a true supply and demand. If Walmart said, you know what, we're going to sell loaves of bread for 50 cents. So a lot of people come up there to get the 50-cent bread. But then they say, we out of the 50-cent bread. All we got left is a $2 loaf bread. What you going to buy then? You're going to buy the $2 loaf bread because that's all they have and that's all they're showing. That may not be all they have, but that's all they're showing. So when the guy with the people with the supply determine man, I just got done talking to you.
Yeah, but you keep saying stupid stuff.
And what the
why do they raise the price on stuff we have plenty of?
Because they're greedy.
What does it cost to bring it to market?
They're still greedy.
The trucks should now have $3 diesel at $5.
Again,
you still got the same amount of eggs, right? But you got to pay a lot more to get it to the thing.
Not that much more.
Oh yeah. What are you voting?
Not that much. Not that much more. Well, all the eggs in America got to go up because the gas went up. Then why not?
Yeah, or they lose money. It's the same crap you talk about Alabama Power all the time.
Oh, yeah.
You're talking about they guaranteed. No, they're not guaranteed. They're allowed to make a certain amount. They have to prove that their costs go up in order to raise their price. When prices go up to deliver the product.
How the hell their price going to go up and they charge us more every time it goes up?
Oh my God! I mean,
I'm too stupid to understand that. See you later. Okay, I don't care. Those with the goods can determine the price. Okay, and listen, Garrett. I mean, Dr. Joe. Listen, I don't necessarily disagree with what you just said. Greed is good in some instances. If we want to make more, we got to hire more people to produce the product. I feel you on that one. But then again, if the CEO is making more money by himself than 700 people that work for him combined, I think greed is when you get a lot of money. You know what Rockefeller said one time? Somebody said, "How much more money you need?" He said, "Just a little more. Just a little more." Everybody wants a little more. GDP. I know that gross domestic product. Of course, I know what that is. I don't care about it. The average person who goes to the store is not thinking about the GDP. Okay, we ain't thinking. I don't care nothing about the GDP because that's all manipulated. Also, okay, we don't care nothing about no GDP. Okay, and we don't really care. And now, even though we may be affected by inflation, we don't want to hear that crap either. Okay, all I know is if yesterday it was 10 cents and today it's 25 cents, explain that to me. Okay, explain that to me. That's all I want to know. Explain it to me. Wait, what does that say? If you only could have remembered how much flour to place in cake batter, what that got to do with anything? That's a recipe. You don't have to remember it. All you can do is follow a recipe. Greedflation. Okay, I'm good with that one too. Greedflation is the American way nowadays. Okay, it is. So don't tell me. Okay, it's supply and demand. Okay, it ain't supply and demand. Oh, what does Camilla say? A high school diploma is an official document given by a school to a student who finishes all required classes. I got that. It proves that that person has met the basic learning requirements by their state. So then why would you let me walk around and get a certificate of attendance? What the hell is that? Okay. So tell me what a certificate of attendance tells a prospective employer. Tell me what that says. I'm waiting for you right now. What happens when the demand exceeds the supply, like the Democrats need for racism? Yeah, the price goes up. Okay, now that's a whole different thing when the demand exceeds the supply and you have to hire more people in order to produce more product, I can understand the price going up then. But then again, if the demand exceeds the supply, then nobody's going to be complaining. Okay, nobody's going to be complaining. It is only when it's only when nobody's asking for any more, but you taking the price up on what's already there. It's kind of like the gas, the gas. I cannot figure out when gas goes up, why does it go up on the fuel that's already in the ground that was bought at one price and now you're charging me another price because gas went up? See, I can understand when the trucks come and they refill your fuel tanks, then you got to take the gas up because the gas went up. But we got people in the gas business who take up the prices when they hear that King Abdullah may be going on vacation, and so he's going to shut down things. Then we take the price up. And so everything we have in the ground automatically goes up. I ain't figured that one out yet. And here's another thing. You know that gas that costs $3.99.9? Can somebody tell me? Okay. Can somebody tell me where that part of the when it says $9.99 at the gas station, but when you get the bill for $5 worth of gas, where does that extra money go to? That's what I want to know. Because it ain't $10, it's $9.99.9. Where does that extra money go? Who's getting that extra money? That's all I want to know. Okay. Simply Days, do you know the answer to that question?
Well, there's always a middleman, and when you can cut the middleman out, it makes the price cheaper. So there's always going to be, if you can figure out how to buy something without having a middleman, then you're going to get it cheaper. And there's a middleman in there somewhere, and that's where it goes to. But
the $9.99, I mean the $1.99 should have his price already included in that. So
yeah, but
what is that one when it says 199.9? Where does that 0.1% go?
Well, it goes to a middleman. It goes to somebody that gets their piece. That gets their piece of the pie. See, the pie is cut in sections, and everybody wants a piece of it. So,
and I got that. But at least I see the pie. Who's eating it? But on the gas thing, 199.9, where does that 0.1% money go? Because it never comes across on the cash register. It's always just a whole figure.
Well, some people ring up. They ring it up that way to make you think you're getting a deal.
So it's all an illusion. It's all an illusion. Then.
It's all in perception. It's the way you perceive things. Hey, talking about the school thing and talking about whether a teacher can, teach with the high school. What I'm concerned with, Mayor, is that do the kids that get the certificate of completion?
No.
Do they get the
certificate of attendance?
Of attendance, not completion.
Yeah, not completion, no.
Of separate work.
Right, because you completed it, you'd have got a high school diploma.
Well, no, I can follow the logic. Like if they go to another alternate school or something and they complete the work there, but it's not the main work that everybody else had to complete. But if they get a certificate of attendance just for showing up, and you know why they're doing that, don't you?
No, I don't.
Because each one of those children
represents the money.
Represents a federal dollar.
Yeah, that's true. So whether they leave dumb or not, it's irrelevant. Long as they warm the seat.
Exactly. But what it does, Mayor, is it waters down, it dilutes the diploma the kids that are walking across the stage that are getting. Because if they're walking across the same stage for a certificate of attendance and those other kids had to study and bust their cans,
Get the chance to walk
and
across
pass.
that's right, to walk across that stage. Yeah, my son walked across that stage, and all those kids, I guess they all got, I don't know who got certificate of attendance, but you're absolutely right. It demeans the hard work that other people have done.
And that's why we're lowering the standard, and that's why back in the 60s and 70s we were like number 3, number 4, number 2, number 1 in the education across the world. We're now like 40 at something.
Yeah,
because we keep doing things like this instead of raising the bar, pulling the kids up.
That's right. Because if you lower the ceiling and raise the floor, you haven't gone anyplace.
It's like the kids that would show up for band. Well, you can't really play an instrument, but we're going to give you all of the privileges. We're going to let you wear the uniform, and we're going to let you hold the trombone.
Yeah, yeah.
But you just don't play it now. Don't make any sounds coming out of it, because you're going to make all the other kids that play sound really bad.
Sound really bad. All right, man.
I can follow the logic, Mayor, if they have a separate ceremony for them and they say, okay, here are all the kids
at night. Not during the day with all the ones who work their butts off and accomplish the goal. No, don't give them don't do that. But that's what we're doing today.
Yeah,
that's what we're doing today.
Yeah, let the families come. Bring their balloons. Bring their flower, whatever, and let them have their. But don't dilute.
And that's exactly what
the other kids.
Yeah. Hey,
have a good day, Mayor.
Appreciate it. You see, this is why I like this show about culture, because our culture is changing so much that in a few years we will not to recognize America. Dr. Joe.
All right, Dog. First of all, the certificate of attendance, they just do that. They let them walk out there and pretend like they're getting a diploma, but they don't, like if they try to go in the Army or something like that, and they say, do you have a high school diploma? They have to say no.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Okay.
And so why make them go through it? Why insult everybody else?
It's one of these things they do to make the parents feel good.
Well,
because their kid gets to walk across the stage.
And this is going to be visiting pretty soon in front of a glass, because he won't be able to get a job or to do anything. So he's going to have to do something. Man, I just don't understand that as a country.
Well, it's one of those feel good things. Okay. Yeah. Now the next thing you said, if demand is high and the goods are few, guess what? Now what's going to happen to the price?
Okay, and that's the only time I believe that supply and demand, the price should affect that, because now I got to hire more people in order to produce more product or goods and services, and then now I need to raise the price in order to do that. I'm not saying price hikes are not necessary.
That is what causes inflation. Fewer goods and more demand. That's inflation.
Well, chicken. Wait a minute. The chickens never stopped laying eggs. Why did they go up?
Because they were. It's a matter of supply and demand.
It's a matter of BS. Is what the chickens didn't stop. No chicken went on strike. Same chicken popping out the same egg.
A lot of those chickens had that bird flu and stuff. So there might have been less chicken laying eggs.
Every time
I don't know. It's always got to do with supply and demand.
And I agree with that. But again, when the guy with the supply can determine the demand by withholding the supply.
No, that isn't how it works.
But that's how
you don't withhold the product. Why would you do that?
Because then you can raise the price. You can raise the price and say we have limited resources when it comes to this.
You
limited
think
egg.
Coca-Cola or McDonald's is going to sit there and withhold their product?
I ain't talking about McDonald's. I'm talking about the egg factory a couple of years ago. Every time something goes up, the eggs go up to $12 for a carton of eggs. The chicken's still laying the eggs. They're still laying the same eggs.
I don't know about the eggs, but everything works in the supply and demand. Kevin.
And if
That's
you
all I know.
but if you have the supply, you can determine the demand.
Well, not necessarily.
And you when you say not necessarily, that means Kevin, you're right.
No, listen, Coca-Cola doesn't sit there and there's only one Coca-Cola.
I ain't talking about Coca-Cola though, but I'm talking about things.
It works the same way in any business, Kevin. It's the same way.
Well, I've never known Coca. Well, right now Coca-Cola has gone up. Hell, a bottle costs $2.50 now.
Well, you need to buy the Coke Zeros like I do. I bought some this morning.
Yeah, I'm using some of the and let me tell you something really good. Sprite.
Yeah. I drink the Dr. Pepper Zeros sometimes. They're pretty good too.
Yeah.
They've got to where they can make the real good sugarless drinks now.
Yeah,
you need to stay on those.
Oh well, let me ask you. If it's not sugar in it, why does it taste like sugar?
Because that old saccharin had that old bitter aftertaste.
Yeah.
Remember the soft drink tab?
Yeah.
It had that
Yeah.
saccharin. It had, but now they've got to where they have some other thing that makes it taste sweet.
Oh.
But it's not sugar and it doesn't raise your blood sugar.
Yeah.
I've got diabetes too.
Okay, well, I am drinking a lot. Every once in a while, I got to have a Coke. I got to have the sugar every once in a blue moon.
No, you don't need that. That's not good for you.
Yeah, I know.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
Okay,
Thanks.
appreciate it. I think I proved my point, though. Those with the supply, I'm not saying they do, but they can determine the demand. Don, this ain't the Don show, man.
Well, come over and fix my thing. Hey, Camilla, Mississippi is above Alabama in education. I wonder where Camilla gets her information from.
Mississippi is above Alabama?
Yes.
Well,
look it up.
Man,
Camilla probably can't look it up, but maybe you. Hey, on that gas in the ground.
Yeah.
How about that? What's it going to cost to replace the gas in the ground?
Well, what it costs to replace, of course, it's going to cost more. But that did.
So that price shouldn't be reflected on that gas in the ground.
Sure, but okay, I can tell you something. They don't.
Sure, you said sure.
Right, but they
How
don't.
about if gas goes down and you bought the gas in the ground more than it is now. Should you
get a refund?
Keep your price the same?
No.
And other people go buy other places?
Okay. When the gas truck comes up, okay, and the gas goes up 3 days from now, why are they raising the gas prices on the fuel that they put in the ground in the tank cost less money?
Because they know what the cost is. You order gas days in advance.
Mm. Okay. I just thought I'd ask a question. That's it. Anyway, my time's just about up anyway. Again, I still say those with the supply can determine the demand by limiting access to the supply. Okay. It's called the Mississippi Miracle. It's interesting how they turn their education results around. And again, I want to know, did they really turn it around or did they change the standard? Because Alabama has changed the standard on a couple of things in the way they grade. So I need to know, did Mississippi change the standard or are the kids in Mississippi getting smarter? That's all I want. Are they getting introduced to new and innovative educational way? I need to. Just because y'all they say that, listen, education is one of those things. It's kind of like a lawyer. He can say the same thing. I say something in 3 words. He gives me 50 words to say exactly the same thing. So I need to know, what's the standard? Okay. Again, if you lower the standard, if you raise the floor and lower the ceiling, it's an illusion. Okay. It's an illusion. Here's the ceiling and here's the floor. Well, if you lower the floor and you lower the ceiling like here and raise the floor, guess what? You didn't go anyplace, but you have an illusion that you did. Okay? I'm just saying. Okay, somebody says, What did it say? According to the 2026 public school ranking, Mississippi is the 50th and Alabama is at 46. You see? And again, we don't who's telling who's right? I don't know. But I know Mississippi was at the bottom for a long time. I mean, you know. But anyway, again, I'm wondering, that was that's 2026? Well, that's this year. Okay, guys. Hey, I appreciate that there, Mr. Price. Mr. Price, I appreciate it. 94.58. I appreciate that. And that's what we need to, those are the things that we need to know. Okay. So Alabama is still above, it's still above Mississippi. Not by much, but we still above Mississippi. And Indiana, hey, can you tell me what Indiana is doing? Do I need to go home and be a teacher? I can teach high school. Yeah, do I need to go home and be a teacher for a couple of years? Just a substitute. Not a teacher. Where is Indiana? Oh, let me see it. Let me ask Siri. Hey, Siri, where does the state of Indiana stand in position to public education to the rest of the United States?
Indiana is located in the Midwestern.
Yeah, I know where
region of the
Indiana
US.
is.
It is bordered by Michigan to the north,
Okay.
Ohio to the east,
I know.
Kentucky to the south, and Illinois to the west.
Okay, that's not what I asked.
This is from arivibes.com and foricnusa.com.
Okay, wrong number. Okay, let me try that one more time. See, even Siri's getting all screwed up here. Hey, Siri, how does Indiana education rank amongst all the states in America? He's looking it up right now.
Indiana's education ranking varies across different studies. In the 2026 Kids Count Data book, it ranks 11th in education, showing significant improvements in
11th.
reading proficiency and standardized test performance. However, Wallet Hub's 2026 study places Indiana 13th in educational attainment and 10th in quality of education,
Okay,
indicating a disparity.
way above Alabama. Okay, then.
Additionally,
I got you, brother. Way above 10th and 13th. Okay, way above Alabama. Indiana's up there. I should go home. I don't know. I'm not going home. It's too cold up there. But anyway, so much for that. So at least we know that I'm from a state that education ranks way about 30 steps up the thing than Mississippi or Alabama. Okay, that's why I'm such a brilliant guy. I had a great education in South Bend. Yeah, I did. It's called the Mississippi Miracle. Okay, but again, what do you say? Don, go to hell and check your facts. Okay, then. Well, 31st, that ain't what Siri just said, 2026. He said 13th and 11th. We'll check and see. Well, I appreciate you looking that up for me there, Mr. Price, 94.58. But you got me at 31st, and Siri got me at 13 and 15. We'll check and see.
I set your alarm for 1 p.m.
Okay, I appreciate that. See, you know these things be listening to you when you're not talking to them, right? So don't say the wrong thing. Anyway, my time is just about up. A great conversation today. We didn't really get on to the election, but not too many people in Montgomery running for re-election. I mean, not any runoff. So let me see. We got Lieutenant Wall, just U.S. Senate, Everett West 40, Dakari Lynette, whatever that is, Lariat, 29, U.S. Senate. Catherine Robinson was at 41%, and Jay Mitchell was at 34%. If I had to put my money on it, it would be Catherine Robinson, the winner of that one. Everett, it would be Barry Moore. It's probably going to beat Jarrett. John Wall and West Allen. Right now, that is a statistical tie. I can't call that, but Catherine Robinson will win the Attorney General. Yeah, Barry Moore will win against Jared Hudson. Let me see. You got Agriculture Commissioner Christina McGinnis versus Corey Hill. They were at tie 35 apiece. Don't know. Jim Ziegler, name recognition alone is going to let him win. Okay. He was at 45% to 26% of Chris Beaker. We're gonna give Jim that. We're gonna call that for Jim. House 37, John Jacobs, Jeff Monroe, Republicans. they're basically statistically tied. Can't call that one. Alabama House 82, Peblin Warren 48, Sidney Brown 23. It would seem like to me that according to the numbers, Peblin Warren would probably win that one. Let's see. Carol Cook Carter 45%. Bradley, this is 19th. Judge place 5, 19th Circuit. I don't care. They still sticking to it no matter who's in there. But looking at the numbers, that's a tie. Can't call that one. Autauga County Sheriff. I'm going to go on the limb here. Mark Harrell was at 47%. Ty Thompson's at 39%. I'm going to go Ty Thompson. I got a feeling about that one. Okay. Bullitt County Commission District 2, Curtis Pritchard is 34. Joseph Jernigan is 20. Looking at the numbers, that's a 14-point spread with everybody. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Listen, if they listen to Mr. Cody Smith, she may not win because she said she did him wrong.
Well, I mean, but she's got the big mules. She's got the money, and
I say again,
yeah,
she was doing her job, and the jury made a decision.
Yeah,
his peers.
But I'm going to still.
But if they listen to his commercial, you have the nerve to go on the TV with a commercial.
Yeah.
And they tell the woman by doing her job.
Yeah.
What she was voted to do.
Yeah.
She was wrong. If MAGA listened to him, she may not win.
But I'm going to give it to her. She's got the big mules behind her, and Todd.
Yeah, how many big mules she got? Has Trump endorsed her?
Well, we'll know tonight. We'll know. We'll see if
I said they listen to Cody, the righteous person. They said.
Yeah. I normally am 95% right most of the time when I call them. So
But the jury is wrong now.
Yeah. But we'll see. We'll see how that all works out. All right then.
I sure am.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll still be here tomorrow. Macon County, don't care what happens in Macon County. Tallapoosa County Commission, I don't care what happens over there. Okay. But that's it. That's it for today. It's all done. It's all through. Now, but I did not give you the lesson of life today. I got to give you the lesson of life. And this is an interesting one. This is an interesting lesson of life before I get off the air today. We're going to give you, and this is important. This is very, very, very important. It's so important that I'm willing to work a couple extra minutes here, okay? Because y'all need this. Okay, you need this. You really do. You don't know you need it, but you need it. Okay, so the lesson of life today, which is the 16th day of June, 2026. And here goes. Sometimes, and if you haven't found out yet, you will find it. Sometimes painful things can teach us lessons that we did not know or think we needed to learn. Let me say that one more time. Sometimes painful things can teach us lessons that we did not think we needed to know or to learn. Wow, that's heavy. Trust me. I think if you got some age on you, you know that to be a true statement. One more time. Sometimes painful things can teach us lessons that we did not think we needed to know or to learn. Have a great day, everybody. I hope your candidate wins. I'll come back tomorrow and check and see if I was right about most, the ones I called. But I am going to call the Attorney General. Yes, he'll win. Yeah, there ain't no doubt in my mind. See you later. Don't want to be you, but I sure like to see you one more time. Bye.
do.